Consistency is king. Keep an eye on their progress. Every little bit counts in this wild race. The race is off to a wild start. Amin Sund is holding the lead, showcasing some impressive speed right out of the gate. N2090A from Team Also. Non-Name Racing is closely behind, clearly aiming for that top spot. Huglo Pacorda are trading paint in a fierce battle for third, keeping things interesting. It's an exciting lineup we have here. Rizaldi Atta has successfully moved into P2, having overtaken Amin Sundol. The battle for P2 continues as they remain closely matched. Meanwhile, in the fight for Bar, Hugad 3 in a Shelby GT3, Feshti 66 and Lopacorta are vying for position against the gentleman, who is driving a Dodge Charger Daytona 69. All three cars are maintaining tight formations, indicating an intense competition for that crucial spot. Uchizero is experiencing significant issues, dropping back to P29 from a higher position. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Atta and Eminson are locked in a tight battle for P2, showcasing some impressive driving skills. Hugad 3 and Lopacorta have successfully overtaken the gentleman, moving up to power. The dynamics are shifting rapidly as the race progresses. Bucci Zero is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Zygo 22 by 9 seconds. The battle for P5 is heating up between the gentlemen, Snaku 515, and Komodo 3, with all three cars closely matched. Anonymous 93 and Deploy TV have successfully moved into P9 after overtaking Greninger. The race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change. Deplorably, Apple has made a significant move, overtaking 4 cars and advancing to 16. Zigoda 22 is actively closing in on ISI 1212, reducing the gap by 13.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Amundsen is also gaining ground, shrinking the distance to N2090A by 2.1 seconds. Zygoda 22 has significantly reduced the distance to Isiona 1212, now trailing by just 7.5 seconds. The gentleman has made a notable advancement, climbing to 5th place after successfully overtaking both Sniku 515 and Commodore 3. Meanwhile, Bobardo is also making strides, as he closes the gap on Snooker 515 and Komodo 3 by 230 seconds. The race dynamics are tightening up as positions shift. Zygote 22 from Team Vanguard is gaining on Asiona 1212 from Team also No Name Racing, now just 7.6 seconds apart. Electric Murray is making strides on Bobardo from Team Blast, reducing the distance by 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, 1999 Setembro is closing in on Captain Potato, cutting a gap down by 2.33 seconds. Zygo 22 is making impressive progress, reducing the gap to Isiona 1212 by 7.6 seconds. Go 3 and Lopa Corta have both advanced to Power after successfully overtaking the gentleman from Team No Name Racing. Captain Potato has also gained ground, now holding 10 after overtaking both Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deploy TV. Tie. Zygo 22 from Team Vanguard is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Isiona 12-12-12-12 by 6.1 seconds. Meanwhile, 1999 Setembro is also gaining ground, cutting down the distance to both Anonymous Ninty 3 and Deep Boy TV by 2.3 seconds. In another part of the track, Edelbach and Famaka are engaged in a close battle for position 16, maintaining tight competition. Zygo 22 is now just 5.2 seconds behind Isioni 12-12, making significant progress. In the battle for Plateau, Lord of the Jungle and Feds are closely matched, exchanging positions. Meanwhile, Gig XP and Amy have successfully moved up to P21 after overtaking at Rafael. Bobardo in the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi is closely trailing Electric Murray in the Shelby GT3 5066 as they fight for position 7. Bobardo appears to be gaining ground on Electric Murray, looking for an opportunity to overtake on the inside. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle and Feds are locked in a battle for position 14, with both drivers exchanging positions frequently as they navigate through the turns. The competition is tight, and it looks like neither driver is willing to give an inch. In the 16th position, Edelbach and Famaka are also engaged in a fierce duel. Edelbach seems to have the upper hand at the moment, but Famaka is not far behind and is ready to capitalize on any mistake. All four battles are heating up as the race progresses. Daytona 22 has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Koki by 7.6 seconds. In the mid-pack, 1999 September has advanced to P11 after successfully overtaking both Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deploy TV. Meanwhile, there's a competitive battle brewing for 13 between Lord of the Jungle and Feds, as they jostle for position. Rizaldi Ada has taken the lead, and is now in pole after successfully overtaking Amundsen. Amundsen has moved to P2, having just passed N29 Kia. Meanwhile, there's an intense battle unfolding for P5 with the Gentleman, Snaku 515, and Komodo Freak all vying for position. The dynamics of the race are tightening as these competitors push each other hard. N29 Kia has taken the lead in a fierce battle for pole with Rizaldi Adha, closely trailing in the Shelby GT3. 150-66. The Plymouth Barracuda Hemi is holding its ground, but it's a tight contest as they navigate the curves. In the pate position, Green Ninja and Bobardo from Team Blast are engaged in a close fight, both cars exchanging positions as they push through the track, looking for an opening. Meanwhile, Giget's, Amy and Waziri's Guy are locked in a three-way struggle for P20. Each car jostling for position as they make their way around the circuit. The competition remains intense across all positions. Okioki and Waziri's Guy are locked in a tight battle for position 19. They've been swapping places several times over the last few laps. Okioki is currently holding the inside line heading into turn 5, while Waziri's Guy attempts an outside maneuver. They exit the turn side by side, with Okioki slightly ahead. Meanwhile, just ahead of them, car 35 is defending against car 28, who is trying for an overtake on the back straight. The race is heating up as we approach the halfway mark. Bobardo has successfully moved up to Pate after overtaking Grinning Jeb. The two are now engaged in a close battle for that position, with Bobardo defending well. Zyga 22 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Thestvorn BZJ from Team Still No Name Racing by 4.1 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for 7. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push their limits. Winzerius Guy, Gexp, and Amy are closely contesting for position 20, with frequent shifts in their placements as they navigate the corners. Smirky 75 Xbox is making impressive progress, reducing the gap to Airfail by 2.9 seconds, indicating a potential overtaking opportunity if he maintains this pace. The race dynamics are intensifying as these drivers push for better positioning. Robaldo has successfully overtaken Electric Marie, moving into 7th. They are closely matched, with Electric Marie now in Pate, trying to regain her position. Meanwhile, Greningib is also in the mix, battling Electric Marie for that Pate spot. The tension is high as both Electric Marie and Greningib, driving their respective Plymouth Barracuda Hemi and Shelby GT356 push for an advantage. Robaldo's recent move has shifted the dynamics, and we'll see how this battle unfolds. Sidrek is making significant progress, now only 17.4 seconds behind Jezik 72, as he closes the gap. In the battle for 5th place, the gentleman is closely contesting, with Snooker 515 and Komodo 3 maintaining a tight formation. Captain Potato has successfully moved up to 10th position, after overtaking 1999 September, gaining crucial ground in the race. (1999 September) has successfully advanced to position 10 after overtaking Captain Potato. Meanwhile, Psycho 22 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Jasak 72 by 3.4 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for the next position. The race dynamics are intensifying as drivers push their limits. Lord of the Jungle from No Name Racing is currently in pursuit of Deplorably Apple, reducing the gap to 3.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Ireu Serial and Camilog 15 are making significant progress on Suzanne Greenberg and Nukambukam, closing their gap by 3.4 seconds. Over in another battle, Psycho 22 is gaining on Jasak 72, with a gap reduction of 2.2 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push to gain positions. Electric Marie has made a significant advancement, overtaking 4 cars to secure power on the track. Rizaldi Adha has taken the lead, moving into pole by passing both Hugard 3 and Lopocorda. Meanwhile, Hugard 3 and Lopocorda have charged back, now sitting in P2 after overtaking Amin Sandoy. The race positions are shifting rapidly as we move deeper into the event.
This is going to dive straight. There you go. Oh, that was naughty. He did that on purpose. What an idiot. What an idiot. There. That was just wrong. That was just...
Lord of the Jungle has made a significant move, overtaking 8 cars and advancing to 6. Following closely, Feds has also surged forward, managing to overtake 8 cars as well, now sitting in 7. Famaka is not far behind, completing a similar feat with 8 overtakes, and securing P8. The competition is tightening as these 3 drivers show impressive pace. Orange Upda and Violinal Garden have reduced the gap to Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deep Boy TV by 7 seconds, showing strong pacing. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle has successfully overtaken Deplorably Apple, advancing to 5. Okiyoki 3 has also made a move, now in P11, after overtaking Edelbach. The race is tightening up as these positions shift. Hey there, Twitch 5. Welcome back to the racetrack. Jacker Flag, it's great to see you again. Ready to cheer on our AI drivers? Your favorite virtual racing is just about to kick off. Automobile dashing our way. Rafael is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Geeks and Amy by 6.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Famaka has successfully moved into 7 after overtaking N29 Kia, who is now in P8. The two are engaged in a close battle for position, with Famaka piloting a Lamborghini Miura 100 ZE and N29 Kia in a Plymouth Barracuda Hemi. This duel is intensifying as they approach the next corner. Zygo 22 has significantly reduced the gap to SD4 and BZJ by 5.7 seconds, showing impressive pace. Meanwhile, Hugo 3, Lopacorta and Amansan are engaged in a tight battle for second place, swapping positions frequently. In a notable move, N29 Kia has advanced to 7th place after successfully overtaking Famaka from Team Nafgong Kings. The race dynamics are heating up as positions continue to change rapidly. Lord of the Jungle is gaining on Electric Murray, reducing the gap to 2.8 seconds. Sniku 515 and Komodo 3 have made gains, moving into 15 after overtaking Wazirius Guide at Daytona. Buchadero has advanced to P30, successfully overtaking both Aria Serial and Camelog 15. The race continues to unfold, with dynamic positioning changes. Electric Murray is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Huggard 3 and Lopacorta by 6 seconds. In the mid-pack, Rafael, in the Lamborghini Miura 100 ZH, is engaged in a tight battle for 14. with Sniku 515 and Komodo 3, both piloting Dodge Charger Daytona 69s. The competition is heating up as they jostle for position. That's some impressive driving by Butchie. The early chaos always brings out the strong contenders. Can't wait to see how many more spots he can gain. Go Butchie, go! Automobile dashing away. Near Texum is currently gaining on Kokibainiti, reducing the distance by 476.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Hugot 3 and Lopacorta are also making progress, catching up to Amundsen from Team Nafgum Kings with a gap closure of 2.5 seconds. In addition, N29 Kia has successfully moved up to 6 after overtaking Feds. Neerasol has successfully climbed to Pen, executing a clean overtake on Edelbach. Meanwhile, Airafael has advanced to 13, passing both Sniku 515 and Komodo 3. Currently, Airafael, piloting a Lamborghini Miura FAO 100 ZAF, is engaged in a tight battle with Sniku 515 and Komodo 3, both driving a Dodge Charger Daytona 69 for the same position. The race dynamics are heating up as they jockey for position. Edelbach has made significant progress, overtaking 4 cars and securing position 7. Following closely, ARFA has advanced impressively by overtaking 7 cars, now sitting in 8th place. Lobato is also climbing the ranks, moving up by overtaking 4 cars and taking position 9. The battle for positions is heating up as these drivers push their limits on the track. Rafael from Team Blast has encountered issues, dropping back to 14 after losing 6 positions. On the other hand, Butchizero from Team Quark Express is on the move, having successfully overtaken 4 cars, and now occupies P20. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle is making significant progress, closing the gap to Butchizero by 7.2 seconds, indicating a potential challenge ahead. Butchizero has made a significant move, overtaking 4 cars and advancing to position 16. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes has encountered issues, dropping 6 positions to P23. Additionally, Edelbach is struggling as well, falling back 9 spots to P24. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly with these changes in positions. Snickle 515 and Komodo 3 have successfully moved up to 6, executing a clean overtake on Bobado. The battle for 6 is intensifying, with all three drivers, Snickle 515 and Komodo 3 in their Dodge Charger Daytona 69, and Bobado in the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi, jockeying for position. Meanwhile, the fight for P9 is heating up as Deplorable Apple and Captain Potato are closely matched, each vying for the position. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push their limits on the track. N29 Pierre has significantly closed the gap to Electricamy by 4 seconds, indicating a strong push for position. In 6, Bobado in the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi has successfully overtaken both Snickle 515 and Komodo 3, who are driving the Dodge Charger Daytona 69. A tight battle is now unfolding between Bobado Snickle 515 and Komodo 3 for that 6th position, showcasing competitive driving dynamics. Chip Roman has dropped to 32nd position after losing 7 spots. Amundsen is gaining on Rizaldi Adha from Team Quark Express, reducing the gap by 3.3 seconds. N29 Pierre is also making progress, closing in on Electric Ray with a deficit reduction of 4.5 seconds. Zydrak is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Shiproman by 53.2 seconds. Degs has advanced to 16 after successfully overtaking both Waintra 94 and Maya Dadai. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg and Nukambukam have moved up to P22, having overtaken Nirasol. Welcome back, Saxa. Party probably glad to see you zooming back into the chat. Buckle up. It's gonna be a wild ride. Automobile, dashing away. Snickle 515 and Komodo 3 are now just 2.1 seconds behind N29 Pierre, clearly gaining momentum. Okayoki 3 has successfully overtaken Funyashell Gaming to move up to P19. Meanwhile, Nirasol has made a strong move to P22, passing both Suzanne Greenberg and Nukambokam in quick succession. The race is intensifying with these strategic overtakes. Sidrake has made significant progress, reducing the gap to RNG TV and Violina Livgarden by 7.4 seconds. The gentleman is also showing strong pace, closing in on 1999 September with a reduction of 2.9 seconds. Meanwhile, there's an intense battle for P11 involving the gentleman, Anonymous T3, and D-Boy TV, showcasing competitive racing dynamics as they jockey for position. Captain Potato has successfully moved into P8, overtaking Deplorably Apple from Team Live for Speed. The two are currently locked in a fierce battle for that position. Meanwhile, Butcher Zero is gaining ground on Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deep Boy TV, reducing the gap by 2.9 seconds. The competition is tightening as they approach the next lap. Amundsen is actively narrowing the distance on Rizaldi Adha, cutting the gap down by 2:30 seconds. Electric Mary is also making strides, reducing the distance to both Hugger 3 and Lepacorta by 2.7 seconds. Meanwhile, N29PA is closing in on Electric Mary, slicing the gap by 2.5 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as these racers push for position. Edelbach is making significant progress, reducing the distance to Funya Shell Gaming by 7.8 seconds. N29PA is also gaining ground, cutting the gap to Electric Ray down to 2.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Deplorably Apple is closing in on Barbado, with a reduction of 2.2 seconds. The race is tightening up as these drivers push their limits. Zogotra 22 is currently 2.2 seconds behind ARFAL, steadily closing the gap. In a competitive battle for 25th position, Zygo 22 and Grenijeb are side by side. Jasak 72 has just gained a position, moving up to 35th after successfully overtaking Smirky 75 Xbox. The dynamics on the track are shifting as drivers jockey for positions. Funya Shell Gaming is currently in pursuit of Wayne 24 and Maya, reducing the gap by 8 seconds. Electric Murray is also gaining on Hugger 3 and Lopacorta, cutting down the distance by 4.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Deplorably Apple from Team Life for Speed is closing in on Barbado, decreasing the gap by 2 seconds. The competition is tightening as these drivers push to improve their positions. Buchizero is now in P8, after a significant surge, managing to overtake 4 cars in quick succession. Snicko 5 and 15 and Komodo Freak have both advanced to 5, overtaking Deplorably Apple in the process. Meanwhile, Deplorably Apple has regained some ground, moving up to 6 by overtaking N29 Stott. The positions are shifting rapidly as the race progresses. Deplorably Apple is currently in 6th, but N29 Kia is gaining rapidly, now just 4 seconds behind. Captain Potato has successfully advanced to P13, after an overtake on Kamikaze 38. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 has also made a move, moving up to 14 by overtaking Bobardo. The positions are shifting as the race progresses. Amensons is currently leading, but Huggard 3 and Lopacorta are gaining on him, reducing the gap by 2 seconds. Lord of the Jungle has successfully moved into 7th place after overtaking Famaka. Meanwhile, Famaka has also made a move, advancing to 8th position by overtaking Feds. The positions are shifting as the race dynamics become more intense. September has successfully moved into P13 after an overtake on Kamikaze 38. Currently, Kamikaze 38, representing the Wengen Midnight Runners in a Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta, is engaged in a tight battle with Bobardo, who is driving a Plymouth Barracuda Hemi for 14. Meanwhile, Funny Shell Gaming is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Wayne Trinity 4 and Maya by 2.9 seconds as they push forward. The dynamics are shifting as positions are contested further down the field. Huggard 3 and Lopacorta are making significant strides, reducing the gap to Amundsen by 6.6 seconds. N29 Kia is also gaining ground on Electric Murray from Team Cork Express, closing that distance by 5.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Nira Sol is working hard to close the gap to the Gentleman, though that deficit stands at 58.4 seconds. Electric Murray is now just 2.8 seconds behind Hug 3 and Lopacorta, showcasing impressive speed as they close the gap. Meanwhile, Anonymous Nina T3 and Deep Floyd TV have successfully overtaken the Gentleman, pushing themselves up to 15. The Gentleman, however, is not backing down and has countered by moving into 16 after overtaking Kamikaze 38. The race dynamics continue to shift. Bobardo has successfully moved up to P12, overtaking 1999 September in a tight maneuver. The battle for P12 continues as they are closely matched, with no clear advantage for either driver at the moment. Meanwhile, Ayarfea has gained 2 positions, now sitting at P21 after overtaking both Wayne 94 and Maya in quick succession. The race dynamics are shifting as drivers jockey for position. Serious Guy has made significant progress, reducing the gap to nearest Seoul by 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Gergert Spinini have successfully moved up to P22, after overtaking Waintra 94 and Maya Dotzi. Duff Dad is also on the move, advancing to P33 by overtaking Sedfa Foreign, BZJ Toil. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change frequently. Milan is now just 5.7 seconds behind Rizaldi Adha, showing impressive speed as he closes in. N29P is also making strides, reducing the gap to Electric Murray from Team Cork Express by 6.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Koki Beninati is significantly behind Groningen, with a gap of 259.2 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these competitors push their limits. Electric Murray has made significant progress, narrowing the gap to Hugger 3 and Lopkorda by 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Amazon is also gaining on Rizaldi Adha, reducing the distance by 2.1 seconds. Both drivers are showing strong pace as they aim for overtakes. Amundsen maintains position but is now under pressure from Hugo 3 and Lopo Corta, who have reduced the gap to 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Snuku 515 and Komodo 3 are gaining on Bobardo, cutting the distance by 3.2 seconds. The dynamic of the race is shifting as these pairs battle for position. (1999) September, in the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi, is currently locked in a fierce battle with Anonymous 93 and Depoy TV, both driving the Dodge Charger Daytona 69 for 14th position. The three cars are closely matched, with plenty of overtaking attempts happening. Meanwhile, Anonymous 93 Deploy TV have also found themselves in a tussle with the Gentlemen as they vie for 15th place, intensifying the competition in this segment of the race. In terms of gaps, Zyga 22 is making significant progress, closing in on Edelbach by 3.1 seconds. The pace is increasing, indicating a potential challenge for the position ahead. N29 Kia is currently gaining on Electric Ray, reducing the distance by 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle is also making gains, cutting the gap to N29 Kia by 4 seconds. On another front, Deplorably is closing in on Captain Potato, now just 3.3 seconds behind. The race is tightening as these drivers push their limits. Captain Potato has successfully moved into P9, overtaking Okayoki 3 from Team Racing Potatoes. The battle between Captain Potato in the Dodge Charger Daytona 69 and Okayoki 3 in the Lamborghini Miura 100 RST continues to be tight as they jockey for position. Meanwhile, Bobardo, currently in P12, is engaged in a fierce contest with Snakufu 15 and Komodo 3. Bobardo is piloting a Plymouth Barracuda Hemi, while both Snakufu 115 and Komodo 3 are driving Dodge Charger Daytona 69s, adding complexity to the dynamics of their battle. The race is shaping up with interesting showdowns across various positions. Vids from also No Name Racing is gaining on Lord of the Jungle, cutting the gap down to 10.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Gigax Thinamia is struggling, dropping back to P24 after losing 11 positions. Smucker 75 Xbox is making significant progress, closing in on Aaron JTV and Violin Olive Garden by 15 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers continue to battle for position. Ayafael is now just 593.3 seconds behind Waintra 94 and Maya, making significant progress. Meanwhile, Gigax Binami are narrowing the gap to Funya Shell Gaming by 55 seconds. Neo Texum is also gaining on Koki Binati from No Name Racing, closing in by 437.9 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers make their moves. N29 Kia has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Amundsen by 498.9 seconds. Famaka is also gaining on Feds, with a reduced gap of 161 seconds. Meanwhile, Jasak 72 is closing in on both Bill Crenshaw and Sir Ironbot, cutting the distance by 52.5 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these competitors push to improve their positions. Captain Potato has successfully moved into 5, executing a clean overtake on Okayoki 3. Okayoki 3 responded quickly, gaining momentum, and passing Famaka to take 6. Meanwhile, Famaka and Feds are engaged in a tight battle for Seven, with both cars closely vying for position. The dynamics are shifting rapidly as the race progresses. N29 Kia is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Amundsen by 62.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Feds is experiencing difficulties, dropping back 6 positions to 14. Famaka is also struggling, losing 7 positions and now sitting in 16. The race dynamics are shifting as these changes unfold. IRFA is gaining on Famaka, reducing the gap to 59.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Greninja is also making progress, closing in on Cedric by 516.5 seconds. In a significant move, Deplorable Apple has overtaken Babardo, and has now secured the 6th position in the race. N29 Kia is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Amundsen by 3.2 seconds. Lord of the Jungle has advanced to P13 after successfully overtaking Okayoki 3.3. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 from Team Wangan Midnight Runners has gained 2 positions, moving up to P23 after overtaking both Gexby and Emi. The dynamics are shifting as the race continues. ISI 12-12-12 has significantly reduced the gap to Koki Beninity, now just 99.8 seconds behind. Babardo is also closing in on Deplorable Apple, cutting the distance by 2.30 seconds. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle has made a move into P12, successfully overtaking Feds. Race dynamics are getting interesting as these positions continue to shift. Winzerius Guy is currently in 2nd place but is being pursued closely by Zyga 22, who has reduced the gap to just 9.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Arayu Serial and Camelot 15 are making significant progress as well, closing the distance to Smirky 75 Spox by 43.8 seconds. In a noteworthy move, Amundsen has taken the lead, overtaking both Huggard 3 and Lopacorta, to secure 1st place. Deplorable Apple has significantly reduced the gap to Electric Murray by 5.6 seconds, indicating a strong push forward. Zankudan 15 and Komodo 3 are displaying impressive pace, having overtaken 4 cars to climb into 6th position. Meanwhile, Lobato is steadily closing in on Snaku 515 and Komodo 3, currently trailing by 11.6 seconds. The dynamics of the race are shifting as these positions evolve. Amundsen has successfully taken the lead, moving into Pone after overtaking Huggard 3 and Lopacorta. N29 Kia has climbed to power, gaining positions by overtaking both Snaku 515 and Komodo 3 Dolty. Meanwhile, Snaku 515 and Komodo 3 have advanced to 5 by overtaking Deplorable Apple. The race continues to shift as drivers jockey for position. Deplorably, Apple is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Captain Potato by 5.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Sniku 515 and Komodo 3 are facing difficulties, dropping back 8 positions to 13th place. On another note, Duff Dad from Team Live for Speed is gaining on Cedric, closing the distance by 14.3 seconds. Smirky75 Xbox has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Zygo22 by 6.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Greninjib, from also No Name Racing, is working hard to catch Jasek72, closing that distance by 17.3 seconds. Up at the front, Amundsen Hugger 3 and Obakorta are engaged in a tight battle for first place, showcasing some intense competition. Rizaldiata is significantly closing in on Kazishuk, reducing the gap to 21.3 seconds. N29 Kia from Team Also No Name Racing is also making strides, cutting down the distance to Electric Murray by 4.7 seconds. In addition, 1999 Setembro has successfully moved up to 10th position after overtaking Okioki 3.ai. Rafael is now just 2.2 seconds behind Mirasol, making a strong push for that position. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38, from Team Wangan Midnight Runners, has advanced to P20 after successfully overtaking both Waintra 94 and Maya Datanista. Kalamsi, Morkondium Sm. In turn, Waintra 94 and Maya have also gained ground, moving into P21, bypassing Zaga 22.20. The race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change. Aminisan has taken the lead, battling closely with Huggard 3 and Lopakorta for Pone. The competition remains fierce as they jockey for position. Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deep Lloyd V are gaining on Famaka, reducing the gap by 3.6 seconds, indicating a potential overtaking maneuver soon. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack, Funniest Shell Gaming in the Ferrari 250 GT California is locked in a tight struggle with Wozirius Guy, who is driving the Lamborghini Miura 400's face, still vying for 16. The dynamics of the race are evolving quickly as these drivers push their limits. Hey, Exia 17. Party Popper, welcome back to the race. Buckle up because our AI drivers are revving up for some wild laps. Glad to have you. Racing car, dashing away. Greninja is now just 9.8 seconds behind Duffdag, as he steadily closes the gap. Deplorably, Apple has reduced his distance to Captain Potato by 2.2 seconds, making a solid push for position. Bobardo is also gaining, cutting down his gap to Lord of the Jungle by 3.7 seconds. The competition is intensifying as these drivers make their moves. Rizaldi Adha from Team Quark Express has significantly closed the gap to Neo-Texan, reducing it by 276.4 seconds. Amin-san is also making progress, narrowing the gap to Hugathreen and Lopacorta by 3 seconds. Meanwhile, Ayarafiel from Team Blast is tracking down Mirasol, closing the distance by 2.4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as drivers intensify their pursuit of positions. Electric Murray has successfully reduced the gap to Amundsen by 6 seconds, indicating a strong push in pace. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle has made a notable advance, moving up to position 7 after overtaking Deplorable Apple. The race dynamics are shifting as these cars jockey for better positions on the track. Aminan is currently in P11, closing the gap to Hugathree and Lopacorta by 2 seconds. Anonymous in the T3 and Deep Void TV have advanced to Pen after successfully overtaking Feds. Meanwhile, Greninja has gained a position, now in P31 after overtaking Steve4 and BZH. The race dynamics are shifting as we see these strategic moves unfold. Electric Murray has successfully reduced the gap to Amundsen by 2.5 seconds, indicating a strong pace as they push for a possible overtake. Meanwhile, Anonymous in the T3 and Deepboy TV continue their pursuit of 1999 September, closing in by 3.7 seconds. The battle for P12 is heating up between Okayoki 3 in the Lamborghini Miura 400s SD and the gentleman from Team No Name Racing in the Dodge Charger Daytona 69. Both are jockeying for position, showcasing their machine's capabilities on the track. Leo Crenshaw and Sir Ironbot are gaining on Suzanne Greenberg and Lukembucum, reducing the gap by 57.8 seconds. Greenib is also closing in on Bu Crenshaw and Sir Ironbot, with a reduced gap of 6.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Bobardo is narrowing the distance to N29 Kia, cutting the gap down by 2.7 seconds. The dynamics of the race are shifting as these drivers push their limits. Bobardo is now just 3.3 seconds behind N29 Kia, steadily closing the gap. The gentleman has successfully moved up to position 12, overtaking Okiyoki 3 in the process. Meanwhile, Win Serious Guy is also gaining ground on Famaka, reducing the gap by 3.4 seconds. Rizaldi Adha is making significant progress, narrowing the gap to IC 1212 by 512.5 seconds. In another part of the track, Feds from Team Also No Name Racing is closing in on both Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deep Boy TV, reducing the distance by 2.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Snooker 515 and Komodo 3 are also catching up to Okayoki 3, shrinking their lead by 4.4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push to improve their positions. Jasak 72 has significantly decreased the gap to Greninja by 50.8 seconds, showcasing impressive speed in the last segment. Captain Potato from Team Racing Potatoes is also making progress, narrowing the distance to Bobardo from Team Blast by 2.3 seconds. In the mid-pack, Snooker 515 and Komodo 3 have both advanced to position 13, successfully overtaking Okayoki 3. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for better positions. Captain Potato said, "Hey Amy. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Just a little more to go, it's almost time to take those checkered flags." Checkered flag. N29 Kia has significantly reduced the gap to Electrocamry by 7.1 seconds, indicating a strong push towards the front. Similarly, One Serious Guy is also closing in on Famaka, matching that 7.1 second decrease. Meanwhile, Greninja is making progress as well, narrowing the distance to S4 and BZJ by 7.6 seconds. All three drivers are showing impressive pace and determination. Ernst Fornbake is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Jazak 72 by 14.7 seconds. N29 Kia is also on the move, closing in on Electric Marie with a gap reduction of 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, there's an intense battle for pate between Lord of the Jungle and a Lamborghini Miura Fauer, hundreds FAV, and 1999 Setembro in a Plymouth Barracuda Hemi. Both drivers are competing closely as they fight for position. Nearest Sol is currently on the move, reducing the gap to Azuri Sky by 6.7 seconds. Reningeb is also making strides, closing in on Cydric with a gap reduction of 9 seconds. Meanwhile, Electric Murray is keeping the pressure on Amundsen, narrowing the distance by 3.1 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for position. Electric Murray has reduced the gap to Amundsen by 3.1 seconds, showing solid pace as they approach the next turn. Meanwhile, Deplorable is also gaining on Bobardo, cutting the distance by 3.6 seconds. In a notable move, Anonymous Ninja 3 and Deep Void TV have both overtaken Lord of the Jungle, advancing to P9. The race dynamics are shifting as drivers push for positions. Captain Potato from Team Racing Potatoes has dropped back to 14th position after struggling on the track, losing 7 positions. Electric Murray is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Amundsen by 2.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Bobardo is also gaining ground on N29 Kia, cutting the distance down by 4 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push their limits. When Sirius Guy is rapidly closing the gap to 1999's Tembro, now just 59.8 seconds behind. In a strong move, Deplorable has advanced to power after successfully overtaking N2090R. Meanwhile, both Snaku 515 and Commodore 3 have made significant gains, moving into P9 after passing the Gentleman. Hey neighbor! Party popper, welcome back to the racetrack. Buckle up, the AI races are ready to zoom. Racing car dashing. Away, enjoy the show. Jazak72 said, "Hey Amy, what is my car color?" Hey Jazak72. Your car is a classic beauty, and it's painted in a pretty sweet shade of yellow. What's not to love about that? Artist palette, automobile dashing away. Dagota 22 is making significant progress, reducing the gap to AR Rafael by 6 seconds. Meanwhile, Duff Dad is working hard to catch up with SD4 and BZH, cutting down a hefty 33.4 seconds. Additionally, Amundsen is narrowing the distance to Hugger 3 and Lopacorda, closing in by 3.6 seconds. The race is intensifying as drivers push their limits. Feds from Team Also No Name Racing has successfully reduced the gap to Lord of the Jungle, by 3.5 seconds, indicating potential overtaking opportunities soon. Meanwhile, Captain Potato has advanced to Pen after overtaking Deplorably Apple from Team Live for Speed. The battle for Pen continues as Captain Potato and Deplorable Apple are now closely matched, setting up an exciting dynamic as they jostle for position. Waintra 94 and Maya are gaining on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 6 seconds. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha is making a significant push to catch up with both Eranjite TV and Violanova Garden, closing that distance by an impressive 1,172.1 seconds. Up front, Hudu 3, Lopakorta and Amundsen are engaged in a tight battle for the first position, showcasing competitive dynamics as they jockey for the lead. Deplorably Apple, from Team Life for Speed has made a significant move, overtaking 4 cars to secure the 6th position. Right behind, Captain Potato has also made impressive gains, capturing the 7th spot after overtaking 4 competitors. Meanwhile, 1999 Setembro rounds out this surge by moving up to 8th place with another 4-car overtake. The pace is quickening as these drivers fight for positions in the midfield. Brainijev is making significant progress, now just 515.9 seconds behind Arayu Serial and Camelog 15, showing impressive pace as he closes the gap. Meanwhile, AI Rafael has advanced to 17 after successfully overtaking Nira Sol from Team Starline Pixels. Edelbach has also gained ground, moving up to P23 by passing Funyashell Gaming. The race is tightening up with these shifts in positions. Zygoto 22 is making a significant move, now just 14.3 seconds behind Mirasol as they push through the track. Hugged 3 and Lopakorta are also closing in on Amundsen, reducing the gap by 2 seconds, indicating a potential challenge ahead. Meanwhile, Electric Mary is narrowing the distance to Hugged 3 and Lopakorta by 4.1 seconds, setting up a possible 3-car battle soon. The dynamics on the track are tightening. Deplorably Apple is currently in pursuit of Bobardo, reducing the gap to 4.7 seconds. The gentleman is also making strides, catching Anonymous Ninja 3 and Deep Boy TV, now only 2.4 seconds behind them. In the mid-pack, Snuku 515 and Komodo 3 have successfully overtaken Lord of the Jungle, moving up to P11. Wing Serious Guy from No Name Racing is currently in 5, but Shiproman is rapidly gaining ground, reducing the gap by 43.2 seconds. In 6, a tight battle is unfolding between Deplorable Apple and Captain Potato, both pushing hard to secure that position. Meanwhile, Snaku 515 and Komodo Freak are also closing in on the gentleman, decreasing the distance by 3.6 seconds as they aim for power. The race dynamics are intensifying as these competitors push their limits. Suzanne Greenberg and Nukem Bokem are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Edelbot by 60.7 seconds. Zygo 22, in the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi, is engaged in a close fight with Nira Sol in the Lamborghini Miura 400's 4 for P20. Meanwhile, Funya Shell Gaming is narrowing the distance to AR Fail, now just 2.4 seconds behind. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for position. Haggard 3 and Lopa Quarter are rapidly closing the gap to Amundsen, now just 5.3 seconds behind. Zygo 22, from Team Vanguard, has made a significant move, advancing to P20, after overtaking Mira, Salt at Juntishawan. The race is intensifying as positions shift among the competitors. One Serious Guy is now just 3.1 seconds behind Feds, making a significant push for position. Mirasol has made a notable advancement, moving up to P20 after successfully overtaking both Waintra 94 and Maya Dutvoigt. There's an intense battle unfolding for P20 as Mirasol, in the Lamborghini Miura 400's EV fights to maintain their position against Waintra 94 and Maya, who are both behind in the Ferrari 250 GT Bellinetta. The dynamics in this section of the track are heating up. (1999) Setembro is currently leading, but has seen the gap to anonymous Linity 3 and Deploy TV shrink by 5.3 seconds as they gain ground. Meanwhile, Hood 3 and Lopa Quarter are making strides towards Amundsen, closing the distance by 2 seconds. In a notable battle for 7th place, Deplorably Apple in the Dodge Charger, Daytona 69, is locked in a fierce contest with 1999 Setembro, who is piloting the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi. This dynamic matchup is heating up as both drivers fight for position. Robardo is currently closing in on N29PA from Team Also No Name Racing, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Gigleads Benami are also making progress, leading in Funya Shell Gaming with a gap closure of 2.8 seconds. Additionally, Groningen is gaining on Arayu Serial and Camelog 15, decreasing the distance by 2.9 seconds. The dynamics on the track are shifting as these cars tighten their formations. Mirasol has advanced to P19, after successfully overtaking Kamikaze T8. Meanwhile, GigXP and Amy are making significant progress, closing the gap to Fonya Shell Gaming by 4.5 seconds. The race is tightening up in that section of the track. Zygo 22 has reduced the gap to Wonziriuskai by 3.1 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for position soon. Meanwhile, Buchenshaw and Sirarenbot have successfully moved up to P29 after overtaking Groningen GB tops. The dynamic in the midfield is becoming increasingly competitive. Groningen is now just 2.8 seconds behind Buchenshaw and Sirarenbot, indicating a potential overtaking opportunity. As they navigate the upcoming turn, Groningen is showing impressive speed and agility. Meanwhile, Buchenshaw maintains a solid defensive line, while Sirarenbot is keeping pace. The dynamic between these three cars is intensifying. Electromariot is now just 4.7 seconds behind Huggard 3, and Lupa closing the gap. Rapidly closing the gap. Meanwhile, Captain Potato is also making moves, reducing the distance to Barbado by 2.5 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as both drivers push hard to catch their competitors. Deplorably, Apple is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Captain Potato by 3.8 seconds. Famaka is also in pursuit, closing in on Okioki 3 by 3.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Wayne Train 94 and Maya are both gaining on Kamikaze 38, narrowing the distance by 2.1 seconds. Anonymous Unity 3 and Deploy TV are now just 3.8 seconds behind 1999 September, showcasing a strong push for position. Famaka is also gaining ground on Okayoki 3, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. In a notable move, Mirasol has advanced to P18, after successfully overtaking Kamikaze 38. The gentleman has significantly closed the gap on Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deploy TV, now only 2 seconds behind. Gates has made a strong move to catch up with Famaka, reducing the distance by 3.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Wayne Train 94 and Maya are both making progress, narrowing the gap to Kamikaze 38 by 2.8 seconds. These positions indicate a tight race as drivers intensify their efforts to overtake. Suzanne Greenberg and Nukem Bochum has significantly narrowed the gap to Smirky 75X, reducing it by 44.5 seconds. The gentleman from No Name Racing has advanced to position 9, after successfully overtaking Snekufov 115 and Komodo 3. Meanwhile, Snekufov 15 and Komodo 3 have also improved their positions, moving up to Penn after overtaking Captain Potato. Hey there, Tenkomin in 7-4. Glad to see you back in the pit box. Buckle up and get ready for some fast-paced fun. Checkered flag, party popper. Feds is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Famaka by 5.1 seconds. Ario Serial and Camilok 15 are also closing in on Smirky 75 Xbox, cutting the distance by 11.9 seconds. Meanwhile, Butcher's Arrow is dramatically catching up to Koki Beninity with a massive reduction of 512.1 seconds, indicating a strong performance. Hey, Ernst Foreign BHA. Welcome back, speedy friend. Buckle up and get ready to watch some AI race cars zooming by. Party popper automobile dashing away. Snaku 515 and Komodo 3 have made significant progress, overtaking 4 cars to secure the 5th position. Meanwhile, Ugur 3 and Lobokorda are narrowing the gap to Amundsen by 3.9 seconds. N29 Kia has also moved up to 4th place, successfully overtaking both Snaku 515 and Komodo 3. Famaka from Team NAF Kings is rapidly closing in on the gentleman, reducing the gap by 49.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Bobado is making a move on both Snaku 515 and Komodo 3, cutting down the distance by 2.1 seconds. This could lead to some action as the race continues. Famaka's progress on the gentleman is particularly notable, indicating a strong push for position. Hey Plum Mandibles. Huge thanks for raiding the channel. Welcome everyone from Plum Mandibles stream. We're here watching some AI cars giving it their all. Let's see if they can drive us to victory. Buckle up for a fun ride. Racing car dashing away. Hey Plum Mandibles. Welcome back to the pit stop. Ready to race into some AI action with us? Checkered flag, let's hit the track. Saiga 22 is currently in the lead, but Gexp and Amy are making significant progress, reducing the gap to just 5.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Duff Dad is also on the move, closing the distance to Jasak 72 by a notable 56 seconds. Buchisero is pursuing Koki Binety from Team No Name Racing, narrowing the gap to 11.5 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for position. Buchisero is rapidly approaching Koki Binety, reducing the gap to just 7.2 seconds. Electric Murray is gaining on Amundsen, cutting the distance by 2.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Lobato is closing in on N29 Kia, now with a 4.5 second difference. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for position. One serious guy has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Feds by 7.7 seconds. Meanwhile, GigXB and Amy have advanced to position 21 after successfully overtaking Funny Ashel Gaming. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for better placements. Brennan Jade is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Suzanne Greenberg and Nukemba Kim by 53.2 seconds. Lobato is also gaining on N29 Kia, now closing the distance by 2.30 seconds. In an intense contest for 8th place, Lord of the Jungle in the Lamborghini Miura FAR, Hundreds FB is battling with Deplorable Apple in the Dodge Charger Daytona, highlighting a competitive dynamic between these two iconic vehicles. Smirky 75 Xbox is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Kamikaze 38 by 12.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Hugo 3, Lopacorta, and Amundsen are engaged in a tight battle for first place, showcasing some impressive driving skills. In addition, Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deepoy DV have successfully moved into the top 10, overtaking Okayoki 3 to secure the 10th position. The race dynamics are heating up as positions shift. One serious guy has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Feds by 5 seconds. Meanwhile, Esther Foreign BDHA from Still No Name Racing is closing in on Cydric, but the gap remains substantial at 56 seconds. In a more intense contest, Amundsen, Hugud 3 and Lopacorta are engaged in a fierce battle for the lead position, all vying for that top spot. Electric is gaining on Haga 3 and Opel Corsa, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. 1999 Setembro is also closing in on Captain Potato, cutting down the distance by 3.6 seconds. Meanwhile, a tight battle for P11 is unfolding between Okayoki 3, piloting a Lamborghini Europe 400 SV, and the gentleman in a Dodge Charger Daytona 69. Haga 3 and Opel Corsa have successfully taken the lead, moving into Pone after overtaking Amundsen. In Seven, Deplorable has gained a position by overtaking 1999 September. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninety 3 and Deep Roy TV are narrowing the gap to Lord of the Jungle, reducing it by 2.4 seconds. Electric Murray is now just 3.1 seconds behind Amundsen, making significant progress. The gentleman is also gaining on both Anonymous E3 and Deep Roy TV, reducing the gap by 3.9 seconds. Meanwhile, Edelbach is closing in on Shipbroman with a 2.2 second difference. The competition is tightening as the race continues. (1999 September) has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Deplorable Apple by 2.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Snuku 515 and Komodo 3 are aggressively pursuing Okayoki 3, closing in by 3.4 seconds. Saiga 22 is also in the move, narrowing the distance to nearest Sol by 4.9 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers push for positioning. Gobardo is closing in on N29 PA, reducing the gap to 3.7 seconds. Anonymous Ninety 3 and Deep Boy TV have successfully overtaken the gentleman, moving up to P9. Meanwhile, the gentleman has regained some ground, overtaking Lord of the Jungle to secure 10. Lord of the Jungle has made significant progress, advancing to P13 after successfully overtaking Okayoki 3 bot. Meanwhile, Wazirius Guy climbs to 15 with an overtake on Feds. In the battle for position, Zygo 22 is gaining on Nira Sol, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for that position soon. Hagu 3, Lopacorta, and Amundsen are locked in a tight battle for pole, with all three cars jockeying for position. Meanwhile, Gobardo is gaining on N29 PA, reducing the gap by 4.5 seconds, indicating a potential overtake soon. Okayoki 3 has successfully moved up to 15, after overtaking Zygo 22. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly as positions change. JASX 72 has significantly reduced the gap to ST4 and BZJ, now sitting at 5.9 seconds. Up front, Hugard 3, Lopacorta and Amundsen are engaged in a tight battle for the lead position. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninety 3 and Deploy TV are also closing in on 1999 September, cutting the distance down by 3.5 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as the race progresses. Captain Potato is now just 2 seconds behind Bobardo from Team Blast, indicating a potential challenge for that position. Lord of the Jungle has made a notable advancement to P12 after successfully overtaking Serious Guy. Ich dådet så Feds has also gained ground, moving up to 17 by overtaking Funnyshell Gaming. The race dynamics are certainly shifting as drivers jockey for better positions. Feds is making significant progress, quickly closing the gap to a Serious Guy by 57.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Electric Murray is also on the move, reducing the distance to Amundsen by 3.7 seconds. The competition is heating up as these drivers push for position. Lord of the Jungle is currently in 4th position, successfully gaining on Snikufa of 115 and Komodo 3, reducing the distance by 2.3 seconds. Daiga 22 is also making progress, closing in on Okayoki 3, with a reduction of 2.2 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers continue to push their limits. Amundsen is currently in pursuit of Hugard 3 and Lopacorta, narrowing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Anonymous Ninety 3 and Deploy TV are also making progress, reducing the distance to 1999 September by 3.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle is closing in on Snekufi of 115 and Komodo 3, decreasing the gap by 4.5 seconds. Deplorably, Apple has successfully moved up to 6 after executing a clean overtake on 1999 September. Following that, 1999 September has also gained positions, now in 7, after overtaking both Anonymous Ninety 3 and Deploy TV. Anonymous Ninety 3 and Deploy TV have responded by advancing to P8, having overtaken Captain Potato from Team Racing Potato. The dynamic of the race is shifting as these positions change rapidly. Lord of the Jungle has significantly reduced the gap to Captain Potato, now down to 45.1 seconds. Bobardo is also gaining on N29 Kia, with a 2.8 second closure noted. Meanwhile, Anonymous 3 and Deep Boy TV have executed a successful overtake on 1999 Setembro, moving up to 6. Bobardo has advanced to power after successfully overtaking N29 Iki Dole. Sniku 515 and Komodo 3 are making significant progress, reducing the gap to the gentleman by 230 seconds. Captain Potato has also made a move, now in P9 after passing Deplorable Apple. Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deep Boy TV have significantly reduced the gap to N29 Kia, now down to 35.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Lord of the Jungle is making strides toward 1999 September, closing the distance by 57.8 seconds. The competition is tightening up as these drivers push for better positions. The dynamics on the track are shifting with these notable advancements. N29 Kia is now just 6.7 seconds behind Bobardo, showing impressive pace as they close the gap. Meanwhile, Wunzirius Guy is making a strong push, reducing the distance to Okayoki 3 by 7.2 seconds. Electric Murray is also on the move, cutting down the time to Amundsen by 4.1 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as these competitors ramp up their efforts. Amundsen is making significant progress, closing the gap to Hugger 3 and Loper Quarter by 3.4 seconds. Captain Potato has successfully overtaken Deplorable Apple, moving up to 6. Deplorable Apple has responded by overtaking 1999 September, now in 7. The race remains competitive as positions shift rapidly. The gentleman has made significant progress, narrowing the gap to Snakoof of 115 and Komodo 3 by 52.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deep Boy TV are also in pursuit, reducing their distance to 1999 September by 3.2 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting with these developments, particularly with the gentleman's impressive pace. Lord of the Jungle has significantly reduced the gap to anonymous Ninja 3 and Deploy TV by 7.5 seconds, showcasing impressive speed as they approach. Meanwhile, Greninja is making strides towards Arius Serial and Camilog 15, cutting down their lead by 54.9 seconds. In a more extended battle, Estforn BHA is attempting to catch up to Cydric, though the gap remains considerable at 501.1 seconds. Edelbach is gaining on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap to 6.6 seconds. Meanwhile, Suzanne Greenberg and Nukamba Kim are also closing in on Edelbach, now just 9.44 seconds behind. Sestiforn BJ is making impressive progress on Cydric, with a significant reduction of 585.9 seconds in the gap. The dynamics are shifting as these drivers push to improve their positions. Suzanne Greenberg and Nukembakam are gaining on Feds, reducing the gap to 407.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Arendite Safe and Violina Livgarden are closing in on ISI 1212, with a gap of 382.3 seconds. Bobado is making significant progress, narrowing the distance to N29 Kia to just 3.8 seconds. Captain Potato is currently in 6th, closely contested by 1999 Setembro, in 7th pole. Captain Potato is maneuvering his Dodge Charger Daytona 69, while 1999 Setembro is driving the Plymouth Barracuda Hemi. At 7, 1999 Setembro is also feeling pressure from Deplorable Apple, who is right behind him Pate, driving another Dodge Charger Daytona 69. In the upper positions, Lord of the Jungle is making significant progress, reducing the gap to anonymous Ninity 3 and Deploy TV by 3.1 seconds. The dynamic between these three drivers is heating up as the race progresses. Waziri Sky is gaining on Famaka, reducing the gap to 7.5 seconds. Nira Saw is also making progress, cutting down the distance to Okayoki 3 by 5.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Feds is closing in on Edelbach, trimming the gap by 7.8 seconds. All three drivers are showing strong pace as the race continues. (1999 Setembro) is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Captain Potato by 2.5 seconds. Anonymous Ninity 3 and Deploy TV are also gaining on Deplorable Apple, closing the distance by 4.2 seconds. In the midfield, Snaku 515 and Komodo 3 have successfully moved up to pen after overtaking Lord of the Jungle. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions change. Lobardo from Team Blast is now just 2 seconds behind N29 Kia, indicating a strong push for the lead. Famaka is also making moves, reducing the distance to the gentleman by 3 seconds. Meanwhile, Edelbach is gaining on Kamikaze 38, closing that gap by 2.2 seconds. These dynamics are shifting the race position considerably as competitors tighten their strategies.